Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Malene. What are we going to do today?
Jennifer, we're going to cover claims today. Some folks have asked us to create a video with regards to claims in agency systems. So there's a myriad of methods that agencies use, and we'll cover them all today, okay?
That sounds great.
First of all, you just find your client and find the policy, and you go to Policy Express. Of course, this is our work area, and this is where all things begin. You can certainly create forms from here, and it's really nice that the ACORD forms for the loss notices are all at the top, so you don't have to search for them. You can just simply click on the form itself, complete the form, and then if you're doing something simple, you can batch print it to send it to the adjusting office or the claims office, and you can create your suspense here, which would hold all your notes. I would suggest that you create a category for claims and maybe the line of business that you have. If you haven't set these up and you have administrative rights, you can simply just right-click and access that area. So now I know it's a claim and it's on a BOP. So when I look at my to-do list, it will be very easy for me to know that this is a BOP claim. Also, I suggest a naming methodology for the lines on your diaries and attachments. I tend to like the same category that I use for my diary category, and simply just put the date of loss, DOL, and I might put that this is a theft, a collision, lightning, auto claim loss, or whatever I want to put. This is just my shorthand note. Down here is the who, what, when, etc. So these are my notes, and that would be a good way. So let's reiterate. You create your ACORD form, then you batch print to email it to the claims office, and then you just create a suspense. You can come back into this suspense after it's created. Of course, it's going to show on your to-do list, and it will also show up here with the who, what, when, where, and why. So if you've spoken with an underwriter or something, or maybe you just you received the acknowledgement. So I might put a note down here. And I know that the system tracks this stuff, but I'm a very visual person, so I like to put the date in here. Now, I know that it would be attached, and that would be fine, but like I said, I'm a very visual person, and sometimes when I look at my to-do tab, I wouldn't want to go to the client to drill down to find all this information. I might come back in here later and say that I spoke with the underwriter or the adjuster. So it might be something like that. So I would have a dialogue with myself, because that's what it's for. It's a dialogue with yourself. And you would just close that. And now when I refresh, I'm going to be able to see all those notes. And so would anyone else in the agency. So it becomes an interactive thing with this suspense. So that's a real helpful thing to know about claims. Now that's a real simple workflow for claims. Let's just reiterate again. You just go to the form itself. In this case, this was a property loss. We would go to batch print to email it. and then we would just create the suspense. That's a very simple workflow. Here's another workflow that you might consider. Today, we can certainly go to Policy View, which logs us into company websites. And sometimes you can post claims directly on the website. And then you might come back and create your suspense. That would be the same as the other workflow. Here it would be claim and a BOP and so forth. So you would create the same type of suspense for that scenario. There's one more thing that you could do that sometimes we used to call claims in. If you use a teleclaim service, you can call a claim in for a client. In that instance, you would call the claim in and directly come in here and create the suspense only. So whether you're using a form and you're required to send that, or maybe it's just your standard operating procedure to create forms for losses, or you use Policy View and you put it on a website and you record it that way, or you just simply just call it in and you create a suspense. Also, I just want to say that you can attach things like the acknowledgement. Maybe it was a photo of something that they had that was stolen, or maybe it was the car that you took they can snap pictures and send to you now so easily. So whatever you're attaching, this is my suggestion. I would use the same naming methodology for all the notes. And then whatever it is, it could be an acknowledgement, it could be a photo, it could be anything. And then after you save this, there is a policy log box that pops up. You can certainly add more information about whatever you're attaching. The last part that I want to cover is actually this claims, what I call claims tracking. It's the ability to have everything here in one shot. Now, we're on the Detail tab of the Claims Maintenance. Today, the claims information that we put in an ACORD form doesn't flow over here, but I know for a fact that that has been mentioned in upgrading our claims information and the ability to flow from one place to another, like from an ACORD form, loss notice, to this claims information here. Now, the type of claim, you can see that I've got collision in here, but this is not a collision. It's a property loss, and we can say that it was a theft loss. You see immediately when I tab, it says, do you want to add this new loss type? And when you say yes, it's now going to be in the drop-down. I would caution everybody to not add too many different kinds of things, but it's really up to you and your agency how detailed you want to get. Of course, it says open and close here. It captures the company name and the class or line of business code. It gives you a place to put the claims number. You can come over here and say this was just a synopsis, theft of tools, or something like that. It was reported to the agency first, yes or no. It could be no. They could have called it in, and you want to record it into your claims section of agency systems. That's perfectly fine. So it's either yes or no here. In this instance, we'd probably say yes. And then here, we can say that this was progressive, and we can look for any adjusting information that we need here. If we kept adjusters in the contacts, sometimes agencies don't want to put adjusters there because they use independent adjusters, and they don't always, they're not permanent. So I might put that in my notes instead. And of course, here's the phone number and a fax number for the adjuster. That would probably come off of your acknowledgement. And then the location address. we could put the actual address here. And then if there was a claimant on a GL or general liability or an auto claim or even a workers' comp claim, if you've got someone involved as a claimant, you can certainly add as many as you need there. We have a place to track payments. So when we save this, we could track payments here. It has, this is the number 1 payment when we received it. Here's the description. It might be a partial payment, or it might be a partial payment based on replacement cost and the check number and so forth. So you can track a lot of those things here. And then here are the notes. So the notes are very helpful. So this might be the same kind of naming methodology. Consistency is a wonderful thing, so that every time you look at this claim, it has the same information. That makes it real easy for everybody to understand. And when you look from one file to another file to another file, all of a sudden it all begins to look the same. And then you can put the details here. And you can create a suspense here. So if you're going to do this, I probably wouldn't create my suspense until I got in here. And you can, and it's the same kind of thing here. We just, same drill. So whatever method you use, Jennifer, it's all about saving time. And I want to show you one more cool thing that you can do with this claim suspense. You can see that I've created a suspense here, and I can look at my existing suspense. And let's say that this was a CLM, a DOL, and it was done on 12/12. And this is, I'll say Marty called. Okay, and say I want to follow up on this later on this week. Okay, so now when I view this, and it's going to be on this record, I've got 2 claims going. Here's a theft. Here's another one, just to give you an example. Let's say I'm going to look at this one. I spoke with the adjuster. They're getting a police report, and say I received an acknowledgement that it was finalized. To close this suspense, I would probably just put something like this. And then I would just close it. Now, the difference in just using a suspense is this difference. Here are the open and closed claim notes under suspense, and here are the claims that we actually noted in here. You have to drill down a little bit to see it. So this would be the actual claim, and it is a consolidated area that you can use to have all your notes about this claim in one nice place. One more pitch for the diary. You could actually send this information to your producer or someone else in the office, and it's going to capture all of this information. The only thing it doesn't capture is the name of the client, so you might want to put the name of the client. Okay, Jennifer, that's how you track and manage claims in agency systems. There's several methods. Whatever method you use, I know it's going to save you time.
Well, thank you, Elaine.
Well, you're quite welcome.